Jasmine Crockett allegedly tried shutting down Atlantic Peace after reporter contacted other Democrats. God forbid they get another perspective. They wanted to see, they wanted to do an article, do a profile on Jasmine Crockett, and she didn't like it that they didn't check with her to question other Democrats about her. So she thought she could shut it down. She thought she could stop it from being printed. How come Democrats always want to censor? They always want to shut things down. They never want to hear different perspectives, it seems like, right? I mean, we know that from the Twitter files and Biden's presidency, how he shut down conversations that they didn't like. This is par for the course for Democrats. They shut down any unfavorability. Anytime anybody say anything against them, they try to censor. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from Fox News, and we're gonna show a clip as well in a little bit so you can hear some of her idiocracy. But Fox News reports Rep. Jasmine Crockett allegedly told The Atlantic she was shutting down its profile of her after learning the author had reached out to other Democrats without telling her. What is she afraid of them saying, right? These are your people. That shows you how sensitive she is. A staff writer, Elaine Godfrey, described an article on Sunday that Crockett called her for 4 days before the piece was published, quote, to express frustration that I had reached out to so many House members without telling her first. She also told me, I'm sorry, this is messed up. She told me, they wrote it wrong. It's a typo, but shutting down the profile and revoking all her permissions, Godfrey wrote. So basically she was saying she wanted to shut down, and she taking back her permission. She don't want you to write this article is basically what she said. But despite this assertion, the article was published and included comments from both Crockett and other Democratic figures. Democrats quoted in the article included progressive strategist Max Burns, strategist James Carville, Texas State Rep Tony Rose, and U.S. House Reps Julie Johnson of Texas and Robert Garcia of California. So I haven't read the piece myself. I don't know what they said or what she knew they were going to say about her. I don't know. But Godfrey added that she reached out to several other Democrats who seemed uninterested in commenting. Said, quote, 13 of her colleagues on the Oversight and Judiciary Committees, along with 20 other Democratic members I contacted for this story, either declined to talk with me on the record or didn't respond to my interview request, Godfrey wrote. Senior staffers for 3 Democratic members told me that some of Crockett's colleagues see her as undisciplined, but are reluctant to criticize her publicly. We all see how undisciplined she is. She got this fake ghetto type of deal, accent and stuff, where she knows she come from a good family, right? She went to a private school and everything. We know she know how to talk proper if she wants to. This whole fake ghetto stick is not working. And people notice that and they're calling her out on that. That's why she didn't want them to publish that article. But Godfrey also added a comment from an anonymous staffer, said, quote, she likes to talk, the staffer said. Is she a loose cannon? Sometimes. Does that cause headaches for other members? 100%. Crockett reportedly hoping to shut down a piece because Godfrey reached out to other Democrats, was roundly mocked by reporters for not understanding basic journalism. They blasted her for it. Sahil Kapoor, he said, that is not how any of this works. NBC News political reporter. Reporter Jim Stinson commented, quote, Rep. Jasmine Crockett believes she can shut down a journalism profile. That's how dumb she is. Yeah, she doesn't seem that intelligent. Dang, that usually works too. National Review senior writer Noah Rothman joked. Crooked Media podcast host Jane Colston wrote, quote, if you are being profiled, someone is going to reach out to other people about your profile. That's how profiles work. In the same article, Crockett was critical of her fellow leftists, including Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Bernie Sanders. She said, quote, the National Fighting the Oligarchy tour featuring Senator Bernie Sanders and Ocasio-Cortez is a good idea, Crockett said, but it kind of makes people be like, oh, it's about them, right? Instead of the team, Godfrey wrote. Wow. But let's play this clip here and hear what Fox News has to say about Jasmine Crockett in general. I don't think it's pertaining to what's going on here, but just her in general. Let's take a listen.
Okay, so David, Democrats are currently in search of a leader of their party, and maybe not the leader, but somebody who's getting a lot of attention right now is Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Take a listen to some of her recent comments regarding illegal immigration and why she feels it is necessary, and then President Trump talking about her rising star.
Before I get to this clip, let's think about this. Like, she capes for the black community. Pretend she does anyway, talking about, oh, you know, she's this blackity black power type person, right? But look what she's actually doing though. Like, she's caping so hard for people that don't even need to be in this country. Illegal immigrants that came here, people that came here illegally, she's caping for. And most of the black people is not for that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the crazy part about it.
Watch this.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
How about this new they have, their new star, Crockett? How about her? If that's their new star, they're in serious trouble.
Okay, so what do you think about her comments, David, and the president's reaction to her?
Yeah, look, this woman's a complete fraud. Either she's a complete fraud or she was a fraud when she went to her private school at $35,000 a year or whatever the final cost was, to roads at over $55,000 a year, and now she's pretending to be a hood rat. Look, I don't like Sheila Jackson Lee, but at least she came from the 5th Ward in Houston. And while we disagreed on politics, she came from a truly poor and crime-ridden neighborhood, and that was part of her district. Jasmine Crockett is a performative politician. She's a fraud. And if Democrats want to follow her, I say go ahead. I want you to follow her down that path, because Democrat deconstruction and destruction of the party is okay with those of us who are sick of this. And, you know, when I leave here, I'm not going to go look for a cotton field or all of these other things she claims that blacks are not doing anymore or that illegal aliens will do. She just lies to promote herself. And because of her, the party will fall even further.
It's going to be fascinating to watch because you have her, of course, you have AOC, you have Bernie Sanders, kind of a number of generations all, you know, espousing the same message. Is this where the Democrat Party goes from here? Based upon the last few months, it looks like they are, and that is, I think, befuddling to everybody. David Webb, never befuddling to us.
Well, whether you're communist or idiotic, you're dangerous either way. So let them be dangerous to the Democrat Party. We have real issues in America to address.
David Webb,
thank
you.
Amen. David Webb, wow. I couldn't have said it any better. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave y'all comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.